24 podcast, where lifelong friends Dean Legiro and Eric Kuber share their love of all things music and movies. Dean has directed short films and is a music trivia buff. And Eric, trained in audio engineering, brings his extensive knowledge of music and film to the conversation as they discuss, debate, and celebrate their favorite albums, films, and much more.
Welcome, friends, to the 3324 podcast live edition, the 420 edition.
420 edition.
Happy 420. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. So.
You know what it means. No need to explain.
Well, you never know. You never know.
Right. Yeah.
We've got one person with us already, so throw your name, give us a hello so we can say hi back to you. It's Kelly.
Of course it is. Hello, Kelly.
There it is. Hi. Howdy.
Hi. Howdy.
First one on the wheel of names. Oh, we got 5 people in already. Wow, nice. Jump in. The water is fine. Zach, good evening.
Zach, good evening, my son.
Son, my son.
Son, my son. Let's see if my other son will log in.
Uh-oh. Jay and Pals?
Jay and Pals.
Where's Jay and Pals?
He had a birthday this past week. And
he did?
He got an Oculus.
Jeez.
From his sister and her husband. Nice. Which
he could play that game with when you fight Darth Vader.
Yeah, he's been loving. He's smacking into the chandelier and everything. So
Christy,
Sean
hola.
Grady, hello.
Sean Grady, yo, Christy. Just to let you know, you're probably going to leave. You will not be eligible to win a prize this week because you won already. So just putting it out there now. You can decide if you're going to stay or not.
Not my decision.
See, that was easy.
She's like, bye.
Bye. Can't win a prize. I'm out.
No, I don't think she's here for the prizes.
I'm out.
She's out.
So, thank you everybody for joining us. Yeah, you know what? I was not. I was away 2 weeks ago in Puerto Rico, and I thought I locked the studio. I thought I locked it and turned on all the lights, but little did I know that there was a broadcast when I was away.
That's right. I think we did all right.
Hey, Mark, how are you? Welcome aboard.
Mark, hello.
Welcome aboard. So,
good to see you.
Yeah.
Hear from you.
Yeah. See, really, I was away. Yeah, not noticed.
You were away.
Let the roasting begin.
Yeah,
let the roasting begin.
My lovely wife Kelly joined.
Producer. Her first.
She was my Roz Doyle.
First time in the producer's seat. So thank you, Kelly, for working the board. Now you get a feel for everything that I have to do at once. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
I
think my friend, I did give you some mention of that on the show itself. I told everybody how difficult it really is. It's challenging to really.
I think we need to acknowledge that with.
Yeah. See, we hello, Ray. Good evening.
Hey, Ray, how are you?
Kelly, it was fun and stressful. But thank you, Sean. Yes, I think we did all right.
Yeah.
And Christie's couldn't tell.
Couldn't tell
I was away.
I leave no mark.
Hi, Beth.
Hey, Beth. Welcome aboard. Welcome to our, oddly enough, our 420 show. And if you know what that means, then you know what that means. So if you're partaking in an adult beverage, by all means. If you're partaking in something else, partake as well. Have at it.
Or some edibles, something, chewables, whatever.
There you go. Chewables, edibles, Flintstone vitamins, whatever you got. So let's see. Thank you for everybody that listened to our Sheryl Crow episode. We appreciate that. Oddly enough, we didn't plan this, but it's almost like a companion piece to it. Tomorrow's episode will be Eric Clapton and his 1989 album Journeyman. You may say, well, why is that a companion piece? Well, because Sheryl Crow and Eric Clapton dated briefly, if you listen to our Sheryl Crow episode. So, and you know, it came up again on the Clapton episode, but the great, fantastic album from 1989, Journeyman.
Back to Form.
Back to Form. Just a real, what the kids call a banger today.
Is that what
it's real? Yes, it's a banger.
Oh, that's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of cliche.
It's a banger.
Hello,
banger. Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello. How are you?
She's like, hello. She's got this cute face. Hello. Dwight
Look at
Burke.
that.
Hello,
Dean,
sir.
Look, Dean is back. Yeah.
Look at that. Dean is back.
Eric tried to do a little bit of like, that movie Airheads. He tried to lock me out of the studio and take over. And he changed all the passwords. So I had to employ Sandra Bullock from her the net acting gig, and she had to hack back in and give me all my passwords so I can get back in. So I am back. So
he's back. Back in black. So Dean, what are you wearing?
Sausage.
What do you have on there?
I have on, if you look, I have the Metallica t-shirt that our good friend of the show, he's guested many times. If you don't know, we've got his Instagram at the bottom. Andrew Cremines designed this t-shirt, and he just didn't do it's not just a knockoff Metallica shirt. Metallica asked him to do this. This was sanctioned by Metallica, that he had done a limited edition, a run of posters for them for charity. And they then asked him to do this great t-shirt. And if you ever watch me on the show, I never wear t-shirts, but for this one, for Andy, my Metallica t-shirt just came in. It's an exclusive design. The proceeds for this t-shirt go to charity as well.
Helping Hands. It's for Ukraine, for the victims of Ukraine.
Yeah. So it's a very good, a worthy very cause, good charity.
So
yes, yeah. Definitely a worthy cause. Andy's probably lifelong dream has been fulfilled by Metallica reaching out to. Yeah, it's his favorite band, and they have not only reached out to him once but twice, and he's going to be doing some other. He's going to get to meet them real soon, from what I understand. So he's living a dream. So if you can,
fulfilled, yes, absolutely.
If you look at the bottom, our crawl, you can follow. Go ahead and follow Andy on his Instagram at Andrew Cremines Art. Definitely go hit him up. He does a lot of great artwork. The Metallica stuff is just a small part of what he does. He's worked for Marvel. He's worked for Disney. He's done freelance work, cartoon characters, etc.
While we're games, on it, he's done. He's done quite a bit. Yeah, he's done
very prolific.
Album covers. Roger Klein and the Peacemakers. He did an album cover for them.
And Big Band Voodoo Daddy. He's done posters. Big Band
Voodoo Daddy. He's done Flogging Molly.
Tour posters.
So you should find that art on that page. So check it out, guys.
Andrew Cremines Art. And then also you can follow Sean Grady on Facebook at Historical Drama. Historical Drama, Sean is a part of that, and they do a lot of like kind of 1-act, 2-act reenactments of pivotal moments in history, namely in the 1700s around the Revolutionary War. They do a lot of different they go to a lot of different locations and do events and come up with plots and plays based on that area and what was going on during the Revolutionary War. And I had the opportunity to see Sean perform one at Fort Montgomery, which was really great. But definitely go follow Historical Drama on Facebook. You can see, if you're in the New York area, definitely go check it out. Even if you're marginally interested in history, it's just great to see the dedication, the authentic costumes.
I gotta get to one of those shows.
Yeah, and the stories are really great, and they're really well done. And Sean really is a history buff, so he takes care to make sure that what he's presenting is accurate and also compelling. He picks really compelling subjects in history that, outside of, the redcoats are coming and the stuff that we all know, some of those smaller events that were pivotal in history he does. So follow Sean, find him on Facebook at Historical Drama, and you can keep up with him as well.
And you're more than welcome, Sean.
Sean, just send the
plug.
Send the check. You could do Venmo as well, or check. Checks are still good, and money order, or traveler's check. If they still make traveler's checks, you can send me a traveler's check. So anyway,
there you go.
Here we go. So tonight we are talking about comedies, a pretty broad subject, but I thought it'd be fun, because it's one of those things. Comedy is very subjective, as we've unfortunately found out during the Oscars. Comedy can be very subjective. What people find funny, or what people all of a sudden find funny, then not funny.
That's true. That's true.
So I thought it would be interesting to to talk about some comedies tonight, what we really like. Tonight, Eric is crystal clear and Dean is fuzzy. Must be the lighting. Am I fuzzy?
Well, you're a pink.
Well,
pink
I have
fuzzy.
my lights. I have my pink light on. So maybe if I change the color of the light, will that do?
Dwight's nitpicking our.
No, I appreciate the feedback on our audio or video.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be better. We do have 2 prizes tonight. If you won the last time, we're going to ask you to sit this one out, unfortunately. But, you're still here, hopefully, for the content. Tonight, what do we have tonight? Let's see what we're giving away. Since we're talking about comedies, I think it's pretty self-explanatory that we're going to be giving away some comedies. So what we've got is, let's see, let's pull it up. Let's get the other one up too. Share screen.
You're right, Dwight. Red is a dirty color for cameras.
Wow.
Dean's gone blue. He's
yes, I've gone blue.
He's in the blue district now.
So tonight we will be giving away a double feature of Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore, or the Austin Powers trilogy. How can we forget these great films? A lot of these kind of, especially Austin Powers, I think as far as comedies go, has kind of gone by the wayside. But we're gonna give it some love tonight. So those will be the 2 prizes we'll give, and we will ship those out to you directly as soon as humanly possible, and we'll get them out to you. So let's see. I think the first question I want to ask everybody is, what early when you were young, right? Because you're exposed to comedy probably when you're younger, probably more on TV, or depending on what generation you're from. What comedies do you remember as a kid that you enjoyed? Let's go back to the beginning. And maybe you saw comedy films on TV, that counts, if it was a movie. But what do you remember as a kid that you found funny, and that helped kind of create your sense of humor or kind of shape your sensibilities? Eric, do you have one?
I do. One of my favorite Mel Brooks films I saw in the theater. My dad actually took me to see it for whatever reasons. One of the probably I think one of the 5 films that I actually saw in the 70s when they came out, and that was Young Frankenstein, which I thought was fantastic. The whole production sense. I mean, he's not only a great comedian, comedy writer, actor, producer, but he's also a great filmmaker, and that's what I realized as well. Watching this movie, it was just a great film. It looked great. He captured the essence of the original James Whale epic back in the day, but I thought it was hilarious, and to this day I still think it's a classic among classics. Yeah, it's a gem. Yep.
And people were probably scratching their head at the time, why is he making this in black and white? And
it was the studio, the original, I think it was Columbia Studios, they were talking about making it first, and they refused to do it in black and white, and he fought for it, and he said, well, what we'll do is we'll film it. We'll do it in a certain color grading. We could desaturate the color out of it. But then he was like, "But no, because then you could release it in other places, in other countries or whatever, with color, and I don't want that." So they dropped it, and then that's when he went to Alan Ladd Jr.
And Fox
at Fox, and then of course he was all over it because he's he's the man. He was he greenlit Star Wars. So there you go.
There you go. Sean's checking in with Weird Science, right? That's the John Hughes era. Yeah, would absolutely start that with Anthony Michael Hall and Kelly LeBrock and what's his name, Ian Thomas Mitchell, I think. We've got Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which is a classic. We've got that's 2 Gene Wilders in a row. That's Young Frankenstein and Wonka.
And he's an absolute maniac, Gene Wilder. I miss him. He's just such a great.
You get nothing. You lose
nothing.
Good day, sir. I said
grandfather's work was doo-doo.
I always thought that Nicolas Cage would have been, if they did a remake without Johnny Depp, I thought Nicolas Cage would have been perfect as a Gene Wilder-esque.
He would
have been perfect. He would have been perfect.
He would have been pretty scary. He would have been perfect.
Dwight's hitting up the TV shows, right? Happy Days. I mean, this is the sustenance. Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, Mork and Mindy, All in the Family, Jeffersons, Good Times, That was like classic, TV, and that was back in the day when there was like 6 channels. So you really were dialed in, or basically dialed into what your parents, some of it was what your parents were watching. Elizabeth Berg, every time we'd visit our aunt, we'd watch Jumpin' Jack Flash. That's with Whoopi Goldberg and The Proposal. That's with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, I think.
Yeah.
Mom, Nana, sisters, and I would bust out laughing every time.
Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah, that was a classic one. My mom actually liked that one too. Yeah. Jumpin' Jack Flash. That was a good one.
Zach, I really remember really enjoying Napoleon Dynamite and Shaun of the Dead when they came out.
Goodness.
Didn't understand all the jokes at the age, but I still loved them. Napoleon Dynamite is an understated classic. It is an absolute.
That came out of nowhere, and it was so bizarre, and we never really knew exactly what time frame it was set in. Is it supposed to be the 80s? Do they live in the 70s? Is it the 70s? And it was so great because they never explain it.
Yeah,
right? They just they don't bother to go there. But this is
the universe, and Napoleon Dynamite is one of the ones I wrote on my list of favorite comedies because it is so quirky.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not big name actors, so you're not kind of buying into this is Bruce Willis or this is so and so. And Kip Dynamite,
it's certainly one of the great indie, something to really come out of the indie, filmmaking stuff. I mean, just such a quirky comedy.
Jared Hess, the director and the writer, that was incredible. Christy hit on mine, Abbott and Costello. This was a big one for me. That was every Sunday. They used to show Abbott and Costello, Channel 11, I believe, or Channel 9, one of them. And every Sunday, after coming back from church, Abbott and Costello was on. And that was my introduction to 2 types of comedy, because Abbott and Costello really was 2 types of comedy. It was slapstick, because it was the physical aspect of Lou Costello literally getting slapped in the face pretty hard. But super sharp and super smart writing. The comedic skits that they would execute were
the timing.
It was about timing. It was about a straight man. The whole straight man routine, and the stuff that they were executing was just so brilliant. And you learn about the slow boil. You learn about side glances and just all these other things that you start to pick up. And as a kid, it was just every week and. Once they showed all of them, they would show them again. So I just saw those.
The physical comedy alone is something to behold.
Who's on First? If you've never seen it, you can't get it on YouTube, but you have to see the version of Who's on First from their film, The Naughty 90s. That's the definitive version. It was filmed, multiple cameras, absolutely incredible.
I'm trying to decide who was better, at this type of stuff. Was it the Three Stooges? Was it Laurel and Hardy? I guess everybody
Three
had
Stooges
their
was more
period.
slapstick. Three Stooges was absolutely. It was like watching ballet, watching the Three Stooges, because everything had to hit at the right time. They had to duck because stuff is flying their way, and if they don't duck at the right time and then pop up and to get poked in the eye, it's like watching a well choreographed ballet. Mark is saying Pink Panther movies, right? The Peter Sellers series, which became very popular in the 70s. And the theme by Henry Mancini.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're always waiting for the theme song, right? That was
because they would show a little
Pink
Panther cartoon in the beginning too.
That's right. Yeah.
The toy with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's an odd one. That was an 82 movie. That we talked about 82 films last time. Yeah. That
Nick Leshy, welcome Nick. All from their vaudeville days, right? Yeah. I mean these. Yeah. Those 40 acts from the 30s and 40s really honed their craft on vaudeville, which is kind of like on stage and getting all that banter down. It's got to be precise, but then it also has to feel like it's natural.
Yeah.
So it can't feel like you're reciting lines, and that was what was so brilliant about Abbott and Costello is they would do those routines over and over, and they were always fresh.
What was great too is they had
Scooby-Doo.
movies. They had a series of movies, and they also had their own TV shows. So there was a little bit of both. So
they were doing everything.
To see these skits reoccur, but it was great every time. You never got tired of them. Sure.
Yeah, they were almost at the point of overexposure.
Oh, She's Got My Heart, Beth Navarro, Odd Couple. That was
So we got Taxi, All in the Family, Martin, In Living Color, and Little Rascals. How could you forget? I mean, Little Rascals was hysterical because it was putting little kids in adult kind of somewhat adult situations where they're trying to do things that are at, build a car or build a fire truck so they can race Waldo, and they're kind of doing that, and getting the one with the giant, and the giant is picking up the kids, and they're all in the gold and the treasure, and they're trying to get away and stuff.
So much like so much Borneo, which today is stirs a very
not very political correct.
Yum yum, eat them up, yum
yum. Or the big cake, the wheat wong cake.
Don't
eat the milk.
Also, the Dead End Kids or the East Side Kids was
the Bowery Boys.
Watching the Bowery Boys on Sunday afternoons too, right after Abbott and Costello. They had their own short films kind of thing. So they were kind of
don't eat the mush. Why? It's spoiled.
It's spoiled.
And then don't eat the mush. Why? It's spoiled. And they'll like pass it down, and then they send it to the old lady. The Odd Couple, Beth, classic among classics, right? We already went into TV. I said to Eric beforehand, I said, we're going to start with movies. I said, I guarantee you someone's going to bring up TV. So TV. We're already on TV.
But Odd Couple was a film. And,
it was a
play. And, the film was a funny film, but it was very dry. Type of humor. Neil Simon, based on the play, and of course the TV series took it in a different
little bit more. Went a little bit broader. A little bit broader.
Right. Yep.
Dwight got The Jerk, Animal House, Abbott and Costello, Bad News Bears. I saw that in the theater. Again, that one wouldn't play too well today as well.
I saw that one at the Pickwick. I remember.
Yeah. When Tatum O'Neal.
Yep.
Rick Hudson, Rock Hudson and Doris Day romantic movies like Pillow Talk, Lover Come Back, Send Me No Flowers. Those are classic 50s, boy meets girl type things. Nick, I watched Little Rascals again this weekend. Some outdated stuff, but a lot of it still stands up. Yeah, most of it does.
Yeah, it does.
The stuff with Spanky and the He-Man Women Haters Club. I mean, they were doing like adult things as
some
kids.
Might say it might have been a little ahead of its time too. Like a little, they were doing some really way out things. And
the Monkees. Jackie Cooper was my favorite. One of my favorite Little Rascals. He was pre Spanky. I love Jackie Cooper because he was in love with Miss McGillicuddy. The one where Chubby. He went and wanted to, don't call me Norman. My name's Chubsy Ubsy.
And that little red-haired girl with the freckles. And
Pre Darla. And they always had like these expressions like when something would happen, it was like they were like shocked. Nick's got Ferris Bueller, another John Hughes, Blues Brothers, Blazing Saddles. These are all classics. Monty Python, The Holy Grail, Life of Brian, Meaning of Life, the TV show that used to be on PBS at night, and I never understood. Like I would watch it, I'm like,
it's a very particular type of humor. Yeah,
I was a little too young when I would come on, and it would have this animation. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't know. All right. Let's do some trivia before we continue. I went and pulled the top 10 highest grossing comedies of all time. So let's roll through some of these. And Porky's is not one of them, but I saw Porky's in the theater at the Pickwick as well, and that one was a great one. That again, just
coming of age, the old
coming exactly age, so inappropriate, but some of those
comedies.
Some of those like American Pie kind of continued that that thread, and those some of these more uncomfortable comedies that are still around today kind of still tread some of that water, still kind of pick from that tree. Saw Monty Python's Life of Brian at the Alamo. We should do I would be totally up for a 3324 movie night where we all go when they have something scheduled. That would be really good.
Oh yeah. And then talk about it.
Or just go to the diner afterwards
and talk about it.
Go to the diner afterwards and have a great time. Home Alone ? Okay, so here we go. Top grossing comedies of all time. So we're going to do the top 10. Nick, I'm guessing Nick is guessing Home Alone, and Home Alone is on the list. But at number 10, and I'll going to be full disclosure, I've not. Number 10 is The Hangover 3. $362 million. I'm going to be full disclosure. I've never seen any of the Hangover films.
Oh, the first one was hilarious.
Never seen.
That was so good. I didn't see the second and the third.
Dobbs Theater's open $5 Tuesdays.
There's a theater in Dobbs again? I did not know that.
Is the Pickwick showing films again? So, Hangover. Hangover 3 is number 10. At $362 million. The number 9 top grossing comedy of all time. I don't get this one. The Sex and the City movie.
Really?
418 million.
Now, is this based on
million
dollars? Is this based on quality, or is it based
box
on
office?
Just box office?
Highest top grossing, not most popular, but top grossing.
Yeah.
Here comes before we get to the meat and potatoes. Number 8 is another one. Everyone's going to scratch their head. Film called The Intouchables, which was an Oscar contender a few years back about a guy in a wheelchair. I think it was Steve Coogan. It was an older guy. $426.5 million. The Intouchables. I don't know. Number 7. Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
$441.2 million. That was a sensation. When that came out, everybody was going to see Mrs. Doubtfire. It was like kind of probably besides the genie, probably one of Robin Williams' biggest roles that he's probably remembered for.
Right.
Oh yeah, Dwight, the theater that's in Dobbs. They have like an Alamo theater.
Okay, right on the Sawmill. Okay, yeah. I got you.
Number 6, that's 6th highest grossing film of all time. Hangover, number 1. Yeah. At $469.3 million. Absolute sensation. Number 5, Nick Leshy checking in with Home Alone. $476.6 million. That was an absolute sensation. That was such a big film. And that was a star, like Home Alone 2, I got to see that in the theater. I was laughing out loud because it's that like we were just talking about. It's like that cartoonish, like Wile E. Coyote stuff where you're getting
violent,
like bricks dropped on your head and concrete blocks, and then you're getting up and Number 4, the 4th highest grossing comedy of all time, Bruce Almighty with Jim Carrey, $484 million. Wow, go figure.
I guess, yeah.
I liked Bruce Almighty. It was one of his last good films. It was one of his last good films.
Okay,
I can't see how it was this big, but
right.
If you thought that one was a head scratcher, number 3 highest grossing film of all time, Meet the Fockers. So not Meet the Parents, but the sequel, Meet the Fockers. Right, that was the one with Barbara Streisand and Dustin Hoffman as the in-laws, right?
Yeah, that's right.
$522.6 million. We're into the top 2, okay? And I can say I've seen one of the top 2. I can't say I've seen the other one. Does anybody want to guess what the top 2? Yeah, Nick, that was Jim Carrey's highest. Well, it was highest grossing comedy. I'm going to guess he never did anything bigger than that. Ace Ventura certainly wasn't, and Truman Show I'm sure wasn't that big as well. So yeah, it probably was his biggest one. Does anybody want to take a crack at what number 2 is?
Number 2 of all time.
Jackass did not make the cut. Highest top grossing comedies. We only have 2 left.
Oh, Casey Bauer. Hello.
Where's Casey?
He's there.
Oh, there he is. Toy Story.
Toy Story. Is that on the list?
Toy Story. Well, it's either going to be number 1 or 2. If it is decade, can I have a decade, please? Sean's in his Jeopardy mode. Decade. Hint. Can I have a hint, please? You know what? I gotta figure that out really quick. It was in the 20 teens. I don't know what you call that. It's not the aughts, right? The aughts were the
2010s. The
2010s. Not Deadpool, but Deadpool was a very high. I don't know if you consider that a comedy or not, but it was in the early 2010s. Let me give you a hint.
Slurp that stuff down.
Let me give you a hint. Thunder Buddies.
Ted, there you go, Ted. Yeah,
Christy got it. Ted is the 2nd highest grossing film of all time, highest grossing comedy of all time. I laughed out loud. And what I think I'm starting to find is the stuff that's really inappropriate is the stuff that makes me laugh now. Like just regular comedy.
Irreverent.
I don't know what doesn't really make me laugh anymore. Stuff that's wildly inappropriate.
Because it
makes me laugh.
Because you can't help but laugh because you're uncomfortable.
Exactly. So when
that's what it takes from you. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So. Like when there's a foul-mouthed teddy bear working as a cashier in a grocery store, dating a woman, and it was just out of control. And then Giovanni Ribisi when he's dancing and drinking his drink, and they wanted to kidnap him.
Yeah.
It was just too much. It was just too much. That's like, oh crap, Ted. Okay, we only have one left. the highest grossing comedy of all time. I've never seen it. Anybody want to take a crack? The answer is in the other 9. The answer to this is in the other 9. That's the only hint you're going to get.
So it's either a prequel or sequel or...
Christy got it. Hangover 2.
Yeah.
Hangover 2 is the highest grossing comedy of all time.
Really?
$586, $500 million. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well, I thought the first one was great, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the first one was so good that, people flocking to see the second, but was it really as good as the first? I don't know.
Yeah. So not only does Todd Phillips have the highest grossing comedy of all time, he's got the highest grossing R-rated film of all time with Joker.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Yep.
Imagine what you'll learn tomorrow. So, what about Eric? What about some contemporary comedies? Is there stuff outside of Young Frankenstein? But wow, shots fired.
Ooh, Step Brothers. Ooh. I enjoy. Just I guess what do you call them? Stupid comedies or just the Adam Sandler films are always great. Will Ferrell, the SNL alum. But then I like movies something along the lines of like a Sideways, which I thought was absolutely hilarious when I saw that film. But it's not really a comedy, a laugh out loud comedy per se, but there are a lot of really funny moments in the movie, and I love those kinds of things too, where it can kind of give you both. So I really enjoyed that. A film like that had a great script. Great characters, and just seeing people like in the crossroads of their lives and trying to deal with all the stupid stuff that they used to do and that kind of thing. And it's like midlife crisis type stuff. Yep. I enjoy that, especially now as a middle-aged man. But yeah,
I think the Billy Madison, the Adam Sandler stuff was along those lines, because like Happy Gilmore was very shocking. Yeah, like all of a sudden, like he's fighting Bob Barker, like punching. And they're fighting, and you're not ready for it, right? You're not expecting something like that to happen, so it kind of throws you. And that's what's so great about some of his humor, is that it's very random, and that's what throws you off. Is there'll be like an old guy, a old homeless guy, like standing there saying something, is like, or reacting, and you're just not you're not in the mind space for that. You're just ready to go on a regular comedy journey.
What I love about Sandler and his production company that he started with Happy Madison. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that these movies don't make a ton of money. He doesn't care if the critics hate them. He just keeps making them.
Don't think he cares about anything.
And it's just right. And it's just, I love that. I love just the spirit of just, I just don't care. Much like Michael Bay, like everybody knows he got his number, and he keeps making these blown out like action movies, and he just doesn't give.
Someone
a crap,
needs to stop him though. Christy's got Bridesmaids, which was really funny. Horrible Bosses, another good one. Annie Hall.
Bridesmaids is Kelly's number one. Yeah.
Annie, I don't know how Annie Hall fits in this list, but Airplane, Dumb and Dumber, Wedding Crashers, right? That was the team up of Vince Vaughn and that
was a good one. Dumb and Dumber. The first time I saw that, oh my God.
There we go. Dwight hit one on my list. Something About Mary. Wedding Crashers knocked up 40-year-old version. This is 40, all crass inappropriate. Something About Mary was such a sensation when it came out. That was the same thing with the Farrelly brothers. They have that kind of shock value, but all their stories are at the core. Their stories are always very wholesome. It's like a love story. It's about a guy trying, like Kingpin is about a guy just trying to do better, but they surround themselves with such weird characters and such strange things. And like with Something About Mary, like the whole thing with the dog, like when Ben Stiller like tried to resuscitate the dog, and he like ripped open the lamp cord, and was like shocking it, and then the dog went flying like out the window, like stuff that you're just not ready. Yes, just stuff that you're not ready for. Franks and Beans, and then he just starts kicking the crap out of him when he tries to touch his headphones. Just such crazy stuff.
I agree with Christy. She says Woody Allen
wrote some funny
shit. He did. He was, despite the controversy surrounding him, people are boycotting his movies and such. But he was a comic.
He had a certain sensibility. He was in the 70s. He was on
dry
fire.
Wit. Yep, very dry wit, and I love that stuff.
Casey Bauer,
films are great.
Number 3. So Casey Bauer his number 1 is Dumb and Dumber. His number 2 is Old School. His number 3 is Just Friends, and I thought I was the only person that liked Just Friends. Just Friends is a very obscure Ryan Reynolds film before he became Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. Hysterical. Just Friends. It's a Christmas film, kind of, sort of, for the most part. But it's really funny. It was just a really good one. What else we got here? Let's see.
Kelly says
my work does a sailing trip on the Wedding Crashers boat each year. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I don't get to go to those functions. Spouses are not allowed.
That's it. See, Dumb and Dumber when Jeff Daniels throws a snowball at Lauren Holly's face. So shocking. Like Dumb and Dumber was just another one.
Oh, there's so much more in that film that oh my goodness.
We got some love for Just Friends. Casey, Sean. Just Friends is great. See, you guys got to check out Just Friends. It's a really good. It's a really good one. The supporting cast is that Elf, Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead was great.
One, like we were talking about the movies that took me by surprise. Anchorman took me by surprise. Mainly because of Baxter. Mainly because of 2 scenes with Baxter the dog. The first one we talked about it recently, where Jack Black is on the motorbike and Will Ferrell throws the burrito out the window and it hits him and he like patches out and he like spins out and he's like, is this your dog? Is this your dog, Broseph, or whatever? And he goes, and now this has happened, and he just like kicks the dog like off the bridge.
No,
and you can tell it's a fake dog, but it's just like you're not ready for it.
There's a lot, but there's so many great.
And I remember I was watching Anchorman like on cables, like it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was you're in that delirious state. Yeah. So at the very end, when they're in the pit with the bear, and then Baxter shows up. And he's barking and he's talking to the bears. I was dying. I was dying because the whole conversation. He's like, leave these people alone, or they're good, or whatever. And the bears are like, we will remember your name. We will tell your story.
Humans. Yeah.
I was dying because I was so not. Do.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was so not ready for it. I was like, and I was just dying. I was like, oh
Casey,
my god.
I love Steve Carell. I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
And of course,
you kept your head on a swivel.
Of course, the epic fight, the drag out, rumble in the yard, the schoolyard with the other anchors.
Tim Robbins with the pipe.
Yeah. Oh,
man. And Ben Stiller's Ben Stiller the Latino, the Latino Geraldo Rivera type reporter.
And of course, in Anchorman 2, they really amped that thing up. It was just like Lord of the Rings type epic.
Luke Wilson gets his arm chopped off. He's like, not again. It's like, and Vince Vaughn was in Anchorman too. So such a great, still a lot of great comedies. And that one kind of surprised me. I really kind of was not ready for it because I was ready for Will Ferrell also does the man-child gimmick that Adam Sandler does, very much in the same vein, kind of not really kind of naive or lives in his own world. So I was kind of like, all right, whatever. But Anchorman just let's see. They originally killed Baxter in that scene, and that tested very poorly. Well, no doubt. This led to one of the best scenes in the film, which Baxter communicating with the bears, right, where he came back. So yeah, it can't kill Baxter.
We definitely have to do an episode on Anchorman at some point.
Milk was a horrible choice.
I love the jazz flute scene where he's like, and he's like under the table, and that's oh my god.
Elizabeth's got Spy, The Heat, The Spy Who Dumped Me, The Ugly Truth, Not Life as We Knew It. All great, Oh my God, such great stuff. Let's see. I had a Lost classic. ¿Cómo está, beaches?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Christy says she's in for that one.
She's in for that one.
Yeah. So
she's in for Anchorman. If anybody else is in for Anchorman, let us know. You can certainly we'll do a 20-person roundtable if we need to.
Yeah.
One of the early movies, not early movies, but a movie I saw in the theater that really cracked me up, and no one really talks about it anymore, is What About Bob? With Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray. Yeah. And I saw that in the theater, and I was dying laughing. I don't know what it was about that film. There was just something about the slow burn of Richard Dreyfuss, because I love slow burns when they're done good.
Yeah.
And the slow burn of Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray just everywhere, baby steps.
I couldn't. I love Bill Murray. I love Stripes. I love Ghostbusters. I love those early days of him, but I could not stand him in this movie.
Really?
I mean, he was funny. It was effective. It was supposed to be, but he was so annoying and like grating on my nerves. So really, I could feel Dreyfuss's pain the whole.
I'm sailing. I sail.
And when he's trying to wake him up, that scene where he's like, Bob, and he's like, Bob, like, oh my God, it's hilarious. Yeah.
And just the whole, like when he's trying to find out where Richard Dreyfuss is vacationing, and he shows up at the call center, and he's pretending to be like a cop, and he's like flashing like a pack of cigarettes, like, oh, we're trying to find out, Lake Winnipesaukee.
He's got the trench coat on and that. Yeah.
It was just so great. I remember that. It's like, shut your mouth, Eric. How dare you? See, you've incurred the wrath now of What About Bob?
Because I said Bill Murray's annoying in the film.
And What About Bob?
Because he's supposed to be. Not that I didn't mean like I couldn't stand him because I hated the role. He was perfect in the role, but it was just it was effective.
Bob Wiley.
He did a great job of being so annoying in the movie. I've never seen Bill usually because he's very loosey goosey and
very much against type,
chill about but in this thing he's just so against type in that way. Yeah, but
for those of you that have just joined us recently, we've got 2 prizes tonight that we will be giving away. Because what would one of our shows be without us spending money on you? That's our commitment to quality. So tonight we will be giving away 1 copy of the the Adam Sandler double feature, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore. I don't have words tonight. Or the great, which we haven't talked about, the Austin Powers trilogy, International Man of Mystery, Spy Who Shagged Me, and Goldmember. The thing about Austin Powers, the 3 films were pretty much exactly the same, but each one was hysterical. He pretty much recycled a lot of the same jokes, a lot of the same things, but
they worked. Yeah,
each time I went, like, he upped it. It just like there was just more and more the stuff with the shadows, and it looks like he's doing stuff, and then he did it again, and all that stuff was just like he just rolled these 3 films out, and they were basically carbon copies, but each one was hysterical.
Yeah, but whatever happened to Mike Myers? We don't really see much of him anymore. I loved him in those. I loved him in what was it? I Married an Axe Murderer. That was a great one too.
Well, he made that movie, The Love Guru, and that kind of like sunk his career. Like that was that was it. And then he did a lot of cameos. He was in Inglourious Bastards. He cameoed in Bohemian Rhapsody. He was the manager. No one will ever listen to your music. How could you not mention the Cable Guy after Sheryl Crow? Right? We talked about Cable Guy in our Sheryl Crow episode, which was another. A lot of people didn't like Cable Guy because it was darker, and I really dug it.
That's why
I really liked it, and people were like,
"It's not a irreverent, crazy, silly comedy."
Hey, Joe.
It goes into some really dark territory there, and Jim Carrey it's one of my favorite roles by
Chip
him.
Douglas,
especially when he reenacts the Star Trek, and he's singing the music, and he really nails it too, because that's something we would have done back in the day as kids.
Absolutely. Groundhog Day is a modern classic. Absolutely, it's much beloved, more so than Mike Myers. Joe is saying that Mike Myers has a new show coming out, so I guess is that going to be a TV series or probably something streaming? I'm going to guess. So cool. Good to see Mike Myers still doing some stuff. We've got a new episode coming out tomorrow, so if you are interested in our podcast, that's great. We appreciate that. So you can check that out tomorrow. Tomorrow's episode. Clapton is God. EC was here. We're talking about Eric Clapton, his 1989 album Journeyman, which is a fantastic album. Please go and check that out. Sharing is caring. So if you could share our posts and spread the word of our podcast and let some other people listen to it as well, we would appreciate that as well. Bad Words
is hysterical. You keep mentioning this film.
Does.
I've yet to see it. I have to see this movie.
That's what Jason Bateman about the spelling bee. And
Jason Bateman is okay. I'm sold because I love Jason Bateman.
Well, the title tells you everything because he's partnered with this little kid who's like a spelling bee genius, and he's trying. It's just good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Today is 420. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. In honor of 420, one of my picks that I have is Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah,
as a great comedy. It's not a It's not a laugh out loud comedy. It's not a hysterical comedy, but it's absolutely a comedy.
Yeah,
I think it.
But
you know,
it's a true to life. It's more of a but it's a really great depiction of 70s stuff.
Yeah. All right.
He just absolutely nailed it. You know, the look, the feel, and it came out in the 90s, right? I mean, it was just, it was such a great to go back to that era. And typically, when you watch these types of movies, the costumes, the wigs, they
don't look right.
They don't quite get it right.
Yeah,
but he
they got on this one. They got the bell-bottom pants, the party out in the field with the keg.
Ben Affleck is, oh my god,
yeah, as O'Banion with his with his paddle. I did not see With Nell, and I think that was with I can't remember his name. Can't remember his name offhand. He was in Warlock. Richard E. Grant, I think, was in that.
Okay, With Nail and I.
Yeah, Kingpin. That's back to the Farrelly brothers, right? And Bill Murray. Bill Murray seems to be showing up in a lot of our conversations about classic films. What About Bob? Groundhog Day, Caddyshack, and now Kingpin as Ernie McCracken.
Yeah.
He was so, oh my God, he was so smarmy in that. Private Benjamin, a Goldie Hawn one. I saw that in the theater at the Pickwick Theater.
I never saw that. I never saw that movie. I mean, I thought it's one of those movies where you think you've seen it.
Yep.
Like it's a title from that era, and it's like, but I've never seen it. Yeah. Not even on cable or anything. So yeah.
I don't even know if they show it on cable, but
I don't know. But I mean, I love movies like there was a lot of 80s, some great underrated 80s comedies too, especially like Michael Keaton, right?
Yeah.
The early Michael Keaton film, Night Shift.
Yep.
I talked about that film a little bit with Henry Winkler. It was a Ron Howard directed film, and it was
Shelley
so
Long.
irreverent, and the subject matter was so ridiculous. But it was, I remember watching that a
Overboard.
lot. I love that film.
With Goldie Hawn and her not her husband, but her boyfriend Kurt Russell as well. Before we move on to, I guess we'll talk about some TV shows, but I have one more as well, which was another one, was Clerks. Clerks really, when that came out, like that was one that was all about the dialogue. Nothing really happens in that film.
Yeah,
it was just about the dialogue and how the characters interact with each other. Which was so kind of true to life, especially if you worked in retail or had one of those jobs. You can kind of
understood.
You understood it. But
your day off, you don't want to. Somebody calls you.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
No.
and in the original cut, Dante gets killed. He got shot at the end in the original cut.
That's odd.
If you get the special edition, he's Randall leaves and he's trying to close up, and it just like this guy just walks in and shoots him.
And
that was it. Yeah,
I never knew that.
Yeah, so I'm glad they reshot that. Yeah, I'm glad they reshot that. Clueless was another good one. Yeah. Before we go to TV shows, how about unintentionally funny films?
Yeah.
How about films that are not supposed to be funny, but you find yourself
not supposed to be comedies, but
you find yourself laughing. And I don't know if that's appropriate or not, but I've got two, and it's a common one for Eric. So Eric, you go first.
Commando
and Schwarzenegger. Why?
Schwarzenegger, because it's just ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, it's just the body count in that film. It's just the idea of this lumbering, like, he's supposed to be like this American hero, and he doesn't speak. He's got this accent. He's got this cute little girl, and the whole thing was just absolutely. And I remember seeing it with our friend John, and everybody was looking at us like we were nuts, because once you get him going, then you're done, because he was crying, laughing so hard and loud, and everybody was just like, "What the hell's wrong with you guys?" Because people are getting blown away. Same thing with Predator. Like Predator is kind of the same thing.
Same thing with the body count and just the over the top.
It's just
over the top that you have to laugh. It's it wasn't the intent, but. And I had Desperado for the same reason. Like Desperado, I remember seeing Desperado. I was like laughing in the theater just because the action was so over the top.
Right.
It was like Looney Tunes ish. Like it was guys flying across the bar, and a 6-shooter that shoots like 15 bullets, like never, and he's like like that, like it's just really crazy stuff. But a lot of great stuff, a lot of unintentionally funny stuff as well. Let's move on to TV shows, right? We had some in the beginning, but really, if you had to pick one comedy series, if you had to only pick one that was the one that kind of you're going to watch over and over again, that you're going to sit and watch every episode and you'll go back, which was it? Which would it be?
Oh my goodness!
So put that in the chat if you will. Pick your one television series. Yeah, we're not going to make it easy here. Why are we going to make it easy?
And you say that I come up with hard.
Well, it's not a trivia question. It's just asking them to make a decision.
Like, it's just right? But
and we've already got one. Elizabeth Berg, Big Bang Theory. What a great choice. First of all, that's a great choice because you have a ton of seasons, so it's going to be a lot to. If that's all you were ever going to watch, you've got a lot to watch.
Yeah.
Kelly's got the Golden Girls. That's another good one.
Oh,
that's another good one.
Yeah, it is, and for some reason, it's become a thing. Like today,
oh yeah, it's very popular.
A lot of guys are into the Golden Girls and I know why, because we grew up watching that with sitting down to dinner with my mom, my grandmother, and those are the things that you remember about it. And the humor in that was just top notch.
You got The Office. That was a classic. That was, oh my God.
We are an Office house. We used to
watch that every week. Like every week I was watching it. You want to go where everybody knows your name. Cheers. Yep. That's a great, a lot of people forget about Cheers. That was a behemoth back in the day. Yeah. Everybody was watching Cheers. The Sam and Diane romance and all of that.
Seinfeld.
Office or Seinfeld, that's like picking which of your children love more. Well, you do love one more. Usually it's the first one that you love more.
Yeah.
We've got Seinfeld or Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? That's the Larry David era. We've got Modern Family, right? With Ed O'Neill. Or you could have went with Married with Children and gone there. Did you know Ed O'Neill? A little trivia. If you didn't, this is going to segue. Eric and I did an episode of another podcast called the Jacked Up Review podcast. We talked about Deadwood. So if you want to check that out, there's links on our Facebook page. But what I found out recently is that Ed O'Neill was actually the first choice to play Al Swearingen on Deadwood.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
He was the first choice. Mark also has Friends, another classic, right?
Yeah.
South Park, a phenomenon was South Park.
Of course, The Simpsons. That's another one.
Simpsons.
Still going.
So, Eric, what's your pick, Eric? Is it going to be The Odd Couple if you had to make that all-encompassing choice?
Well, it just means a lot. I mean, I think so. It's either that or The Honeymooners could be a good contender there. I don't know. It just brings back a lot. But I'm also for some reason I'm a huge Frasier fan. I love
there you go.
Frasier. I could watch that over and over. I asked Kelly. We've watched it so many times, the entire show over. Uh-huh. We'll stop and then we'll start it again because that's how much I loved Kelsey Grammer and those guys. It's just I love comedies that have heart, that actually you see characters grow and that kind of thing. If it's a comedy, if it's the same thing every week with no growth, something like a Seinfeld, for example. I love Seinfeld. But the characters that just become worse over time. They just become such bad people.
Well, that's their character arc.
I guess so. But they take it the opposite direction. But
they become less likable. Yeah. If I had to pick, I'm torn between two. One is Three's Company.
Oh, that's a good one.
Every episode is the same. Someone overheard something, but as a sexual innuendo, but it was actually like fixing the sink. Or taking out the trash, but they thought it was like having sex or cheating.
Himself into trouble.
So there was always that innuendo, which I enjoy when you could do, and that was so slapsticky that it was just and John Ritter was such a treasure on that show. He did so much physical comedy, so much reaction comedy. It was just a great showcase for him. And then of course, everybody's heard me talk about this before, but the IT Crowd. The hidden gem of the IT Crowd only ran for like 4 seasons, and each season was like, I don't know, 3 or 6 episodes or something. Brilliant. The most recently, that's the most recent thing that I've actually sat down and laughed at, and when watching something and laughed out loud. Just so smartly written. I just love it. It kept throwing me for loops that I wasn't ready for. But the dialogue, it's an English TV show, and I'm not usually the British TV guy, but the IT Crowd is on Netflix. You should absolutely check it out. It's a totally geek. It's if you're a geek, it's totally a geek thing. Sean, favorite episode of Three's Company is the one where there's a misunderstanding. Yeah, mine too. We have the same exact favorite episode.
Yeah, and that's like every episode, right?
That was the joke, Eric. That was the joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
It went right over. Three's Company was very funny, right?
Yeah.
Because of Frasier, I learned that a toothache could mean a heart issue. There you go.
Yeah. It's Niles. Yeah. That was crazy. And of course, it was brilliantly done and it just turned into this dramatic thing. And
Growing Pains?
Yeah.
What would we do, baby, without us? Right? That was Alan Thicke and Joanna Kearns and Kirk Cameron. Another great show. That was kind of in the vein of God. What's the Michael J. Fox? Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Toast of London needs a mention. Toast of London is another British TV series with Matt Berry. So if you know who Matt Berry is,
fantastic.
If you watch What We Do in the Shadows now, which is an FX show where he plays one of the vampires,
yeah, he's great.
He's done a lot of British TV, and Toast of London was a show that he did after the IT Crowd, and it's coming back. They're actually doing another series of it. So Matt Berry, a national UK treasure, absolutely.
And I can totally see why you like him. I don't know, for something. The minute I saw that guy, I'm like, this. I know Dean's gonna be a fan of this guy because he's that type of. He actually looks like you, I think.
Thanks, Wad.
I know. Back in the day when you had the really dark before the gray started coming in, when you had
could be,
and the beard and everything. Yeah, I could see you in him. That's
character name Boner. That was on Growing Pains. And then there was that urban legend that kid grew up to be Marilyn Manson. That was him, like that he became the singer Marilyn Manson, but because he looked similar. But it was debunked. The kid who played Boner is a different kid. And Marilyn Manson is someone else. Benny Hill Show. That used to be on Channel 9 or Channel 11.
Yep.
A little bit naughty at night. Not supposed to be watching that kind of stuff, but very slapsticky as well. Very like classic slapstick skits. Just a little on the tawdry side, but still. That was the Wonder Years kid. Sorry, that's right. Not Boner, but the kid from the Wonder Years. They claimed was Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that urban legend. You remember that? So.
No, I don't.
All right.
I never heard that. You're talking about the nerd, his friend, right? The nerdy kid?
Like the nerdy kid. Yeah, they said, this kid grew up to be is Marilyn Manson. Like the age fit, like what the kid was then and what Marilyn Manson was at the time when it was popular. And that kid seemed to disappear. Nobody could find any information. So they were saying, it's him. But it wasn't. Yeah. Turned out not to be him. They ended up finding the kid. So, We're getting on an hour, so we're going to start to close this out. Yeah, Paul. Okay. Yeah, Ringo. Yeah, John. Tonight we are giving away one copy of the Adam Sandler double feature collection, Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore. That's on Blu-ray for almost the best possible quality. Not quite 4K, but close enough. And we're giving away a copy of the Austin Powers triple feature. International Man of Mystery, Spy Who Shagged Me, and Gold Member. Your fascia. Your fascia.
2.5 Men. Yes, Mark. Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah. 2.5 Men.
With Charlie Sheen before he left.
Pre-Ashton Kutcher. Kutcher. Yeah, that was another. So much classic stuff. Great stuff. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. Again, tomorrow we've got Eric Clapton Journeyman episode coming out. So, do that, give it a listen, share it, which would be great too. We've also, if you want to join us for an Anchorman episode, I guess that is kind of coming together very loosely. So you can message us on Facebook if you'd like to be on a podcast. That would be great too. With Charlie for sure. For 2.5 Men. Yeah. Before, just those roasts, those Comedy Central roasts are brutal too. Those have me laughing. Like the roast of Charlie Sheen. These things are awful. They're not like the Dean Martin roast. These things are just off the rails. So inappropriate, but so funny. I'm sorry. I can't apologize for that. Anyway, back to Journeyman. Check that out tomorrow. New episodes come out every Thursday, so you can check that as well. And we're going to be giving some stuff away, right? We've got the Charlie Sheen. We have the Adam Sandler Blu-ray pack. We don't have a Charlie Sheen pack. It's in rehab. Yeah. And then we have the Austin Powers Blu-ray pack as well. We've got the Wheel of Names. I think I've got everybody on here. Of course, I probably have missed somebody. But let's kind of get rid of this so we save some of our bandwidth. There we go. Let's go ahead and add. Let's share the screen here. Whoops. Took my video off. There I am. I'm back. We're going to pull up the Dwight Burke Wheel of Names. We're going to add it to the screen here so you can see. Just if you would just verify that you are represented tonight.
Oh, Christy says... Christy says, for tonight's wheel, I will be going by the name Juan, not Christy. Therefore, I can play. That's great.
We're going to say no bueno, Juan.
Oh. Denied.
So we have Kelly, Zach, Sean, Mark, Ray, Beth, Elizabeth, Nick, and Joe. Is that everybody? Did I miss somebody? Casey, I think Casey won the last time, right?
He did, yes.
Okay, so Casey will have to sit that out. Dwight will have to sit that out, even though Dwight very graciously gave his prize to someone else, which was very
nice of you, Dwight. Yes.
Yeah, very very altruistic. Appreciate that because Dwight is like the all-time winner. I mean, the guy. I think he holds a magnet up to the screen when we spin the wheel.
I gotta take. So we gotta go to Vegas, Dwight. We're gonna bring Dwight with us to Vegas sometime. You know, maybe.
Absolutely. So what are we gonna spin for first? Let's spin for Adam Sandler 2-pack Blu-ray. If you are the winner, what we ask you do is please, you'll need to reach out to us on Facebook. We cannot message from our group page or our podcast page, but send us a message with your address and we will get it shipped out to you directly. It'll come pretty quick. How many shuffles?
5. Let's do 5. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. We're just not even building it up. We're spinning right away. And Gio is the winner. Well done, Joe. I'm not I can't even went on a scratch off. I'm not sure Joe is still with us, but we will reach out. I'll reach out to Joe and let him know that he is a winner. Congratulations to Joe. He won the Billy Madison or the Adam Sandler 2-pack. And Dwight is lamenting that he can't even win a scratch off, but you win here.
Yeah.
So how about this? How about we get a bunch of scratch offs and we have that as the prize and then Dwight wins and then he wins a scratch off.
Okay.
We can't do that. That would be so illegal. That would be so illegal for us to do. So just forget I said that. Okay. How many shuffles you want to give for the second round?
Let's do 3.
3. 1, 2, 3. This is for the Austin Powers 3-pack on Blu-ray. Here we go. Giving away those prizes. No raise for Eric this year. Sorry.
Oh, well.
Kelly, but there's no raise for Eric, but Kelly has won the Austin Powers 3-pack on Blu-ray. Hopefully you guys want that. You'll watch it. She's like, oh, no. Well, she congratulated herself. Congrats.
There you go. Congrats. Yeah.
Oh boy! Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to Eric and to Kelly for manning the station last week and 2 weeks ago talking about the great films of '82 or what was the greatest year in film. Mm-hmm. I did get to check in on that a little bit. I kind of poked my head and made sure they got everything off the ground and left them to it. As long as they took off, it was all good. So we thank everybody for joining us as well. We're going to schedule another one in about 2 weeks. Groovy, baby. Kaboom.
There you go.
We got the congrats there as well. Thank you, Casey. We appreciate it. Again, if you can follow Andy Cremines on Instagram at Andrew Cremines Art, go check that out. Here's the shirt. I promoted this a little bit before, but Andy did this shirt for Metallica on behalf of Metallica. They asked him to do this. This wasn't a fan shirt. They asked him to design this. This was for charity. So good on Andy. They've asked him to do multiple projects, and a dream come true for him. Follow Sean Grady on Facebook at Historical Drama. He does a lot of great historical reenactments with real costumes, real stories about real things that happened in history. If you're in the New York area, go follow Historical Drama on Facebook and check out Sean. He's still doing it. Is the meetup still happening? Yes, we are. It's funny you should ask that.
Yeah,
we had to kick some things to the side. We had some issues with the venue. The good news is you know what? Things are a lot safer now anyway. So I'm not sure if we want to plan something maybe outside, where we get like an outside venue and we do like a barbecue and we have some fun and people can, more people can come. Or if we do a venue, we go to a bar and we have an event as well. So that is still in the planning stages. It is absolutely going to be happening because I have all the swag that we had made for it. So it's still here. We've got all the 1 year anniversary exclusive hats. All that stuff is still here. So we were absolutely going to have it. So thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. For those that have won, please reach out to us on our Facebook page so we can get your address and send it out. And for Eric, this has been Dean, asking you to please be kind and rewind.
You've been listening to the 3324 podcast with Dean Legiro and Eric Kuber. You can find us on your favorite podcast provider, so please like, subscribe, and rate to become a part of the 3324 family. Your feedback is important, so make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at 3324 podcast and on Twitter at 3324p to join the conversation.